friends, Sleepy here, and welcome to a brand new episode in my weekly playlist series. It's Friday again, so that means it's time for me to share with you guys the games I've been playing during the week. I'll let you guys know my thoughts and opinions on these games. Of course, I'd like to hear your guys' thoughts on them. I also want to hear about the games you guys are playing, and if you have any recommendations on a game you think I should check out, let me know, as you guys have recommended some really good titles for me to check out. And both of these games I've been playing are actually a recommendation from my buddy Dean. And now this is actually a really special episode for me, as this is episode number 100 in my weekly playlist series. So I started this 2 years ago. I had a small break last year, which I talked about. But for me, this is 100 weeks, which is crazy to think. Like, 100 different weeks of me talking about the different games that I have been playing and sharing my thoughts with them and hearing your guys' thoughts on the games and hearing about you guys talk about the games you play, which has given me great ideas. And you guys have recommended really good games to me to check out over these last couple of years, and I really appreciate it. And my biggest goal was to start playing more games in my collection, as I've got a big collection, got a lot of games, a massive amount of them. I was buying and collecting a lot of them, but I wasn't playing a whole lot of them, as I just didn't have the time. Well, I've been making more time to actually play and enjoy the games we have, and so that's why I created this series, was to share my journey of playing more games and getting more interaction with you guys and getting discussions going about games, and hoping that I've encouraged people. And I have quite a few people who've told me, that watching my videos, they wanted to play more games in their collection, and they were checking out games from my recommendations, and I was checking out games from their recommendations. And so I just want to thank you guys so much. I want to thank Nick T. Wolf for always commenting, recommending games, sharing stuff with me. Joel, Cat's Game Going Over, another really good guy here on YouTube who shares and comments all the time, talks about the games he loves. Josh from JRman331, he always stops by and talks about the games he loves. He's recommended quite a few games to me that I've picked up and added to my collection. Dean from Escape to Gaming, Vinny Corleone, his channel, great guy here. We've been friends for several years now. He's recommended a bunch of games and talked about the games that he's been playing as well, which is awesome. Mario, who's been watching my channel, thanks to Dean, one of his friends and subscribers who's been subscribed to my channel for a while now, and several other people. I do apologize if I have forgot some people I know. Can't think of everybody's YouTube names and stuff and handles and stuff, but I do appreciate everybody who comments and has participated in this series. You guys are awesome and have really made these 100 episodes very fun, and I plan to keep doing this series, as I had not seen any of this kind of series before from anybody else on YouTube, at least that I've run into, of people talking about the games they're playing. Because there's so many videos of us out there showing what we're buying and collecting and showing off what we have, but there's not a lot of videos out there that I noticed of people actually talking about the games they play and giving their opinions and stuff on them. So that's why I created this series, and I've had a lot of fun with it, and it's something I enjoy. I love collecting games, but I also love playing them even more, and I love to discuss them and chat about them with people. What's your favorite game? Do you like this Batman game? Yeah, it's cool. It's something I loved doing when I was a kid, and with friends and stuff. You talk about a game on the school bus on the ride home, or you're at a buddy's house, you're like, dude, you gotta try this new game, man. This new Mortal Kombat game just came out. It's awesome. You rip people's hearts out and stuff. I love that kind of stuff, and so that's why I have this series going, so I can interact with you guys and talk about the games. So again, I just want to say thank you guys so much for making this series a success for me, and I've really had a blast with it, and I'm looking forward to another 100 episodes. So we'll get started here. I got 2 games for Xbox One, and both of these were recommended to me by my good buddy Dean. This first one I've been working on for a couple weeks now, and I've just been addicted to it, and that is Cloudpunk, which this is an awesome cyberpunk game. It is, the story is that your name is Rania, and this is your first night working for Cloudpunk. It's a semi-legal delivery company that basically delivers without any questions. We don't want to know what's in the package. You just deliver and be on time. Don't ask questions, and you can work for us. And it's got a wonderful story, amazing music, which I absolutely love the music in this game. It's just amazing. I can just listen to outside of the game itself. It's just that great. And when you leave it pausing, you can hear the music playing, and I just really love the music. Sometimes I just fly around the city listening to the ambient music that they have playing at all times. It's just great. Run into a lot of really interesting characters. Now this is in the style like a Lego type of blocky graphics or Minecraft. And my buddy D told me that they're called, if I'm pronouncing it right, but voxel graphics or voxel graphics is what he said that's called for the gameplay style, which I know is kind of turn off. Not everybody likes that kind of art style, but the city does look realistic to me. Like I said, it's just the characters look kind of blocky, but when you talk to characters, you know, they have real voice actors, which they picked great people to voice act for this game, which is another touch to detail that I love. But the graphics, I know I heard a couple of people tell me that they were kind of hesitant to try out because of the graphics, but let me tell you guys, definitely give this game a try. It's a wonderful game. I only paid $9 for it. I got it physically. You can get it digitally. They have this on the PS5, PS4, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, and PC. And now the PC, they actually just recently launched new DLC for this game, and the creators of this had mentioned that they're actually going to make a spin-off game called Nivalis, and it's going to be a life sim where you get to play as a character, as a random character, and create a life in this Nivalis city, which is cool. And then they have that DLC and stuff. Now, when you're flying your vehicle, which is a they're called a Hova vehicle or Hava vehicle, depending on what character you talk to, how they pronounce it. But they're basically, you know, hover vehicles that fly around the city. As this is pretty much one of the last cities in the whole world, and it's a giant city built up, huge giant skyscrapers, multi-tiered level, way up in the air. You know, has some people like at the very bottom, which are kind of like the low-class citizens, live at the bottom of the city area near the water level and kind of the slummy area, and you have the super wealthy and rich who live at the very top up in the spire. And so there are different layers and levels to this city. It's absolutely massive and huge, and you know, there's all kinds of structures that are, you know, like floating and attached and up in the air where different people live, and you fly around to those different areas. Now, your hover vehicle can only land where there's actually parking areas, and the in-game says it's because, you know, they have like thrusters and little hover things, and it can't just land anywhere. I mean, the real reason is they just don't want to have people just landing anywhere and letting their car get lost or something. So, you know, just some limitations that the game had, but you know, it works well with the story and the lore and stuff. And it's just really interesting exploring this city of Nivalis. I like playing as this Rania character. She's really interesting. And you have a main story you get to go through, but there's also side missions and stuff to run into and interesting characters. And you can do you do missions and stuff for them besides the main mission. There's also things to collect. And what is cool is on the map actually shows you where all the collectibles are in the different sections of the city. And what is cool is, so it's broke up into different sections, and when you want to go a different area, you go into a center, as it's called, you know, and you can either go up or you go down to the different levels of the city, and you can actually see where it either curves up or it's going down into different areas. So the city's broke up into those different sections, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. I'm getting quite a few hours in this game, and it is awesome. You can upgrade your hover vehicle, and eventually through the story you actually do get to get a new one, and you get to choose from a variety of different ones that look, and I have one that basically looks like a DeLorean, so like the Back to the Future car, so that's why I picked it, and it's blue. It just looks really cool, and I got that thing all maxed out and upgraded. You also have an apartment that you live in, and you can buy cool little knickknacks like a fish tank, a refrigerator, some plants and stuff, and you get to decorate your little apartment for yourself. And I'm having a blast with this game. I really love the story. I'm hoping that DLC eventually comes to the Xbox One. When you're in the car, there's only third-person view, but when you're on foot, you can be in third person, or you can actually do where the camera pans out, and it turns into like a side-scrolling type of adventure game, and you can move back into the background and come into the foreground and stuff. Or you can go into first-person mode, which is really cool in exploring the city. Well, on the PC version of this game, they actually they added a first-person cockpit view for flying your vehicle around, and man, it would be awesome to fly around this city in first person. And they have talked about they would like to add it to the consoles. They just don't know if they can yet or not, and when. So they're working on that, and then that DLC. So if they definitely release the DLC for the Xbox One, I'm going to be picking it up because I love this game, and I'd love to play that DLC because it continues with Rania and her AI companion Camus. You get to continue with them, but it also adds like 2 or 3 or 4 other characters you get to play through and see different adventures with them as well. So it's really cool. and I'm definitely would love to play that DLC if it comes out for the Xbox One. I'm really hoping they can get that out because this is a great game. Highly recommend you guys check out Cloudpunk. It's awesome. Like I said, it has that voxel graphics, where they're kind of like blocky, 8-bit kind of Minecraft, like Lego type of graphics. They look to me, but it's a cyberpunk story, and it's worth checking out. Don't let those graphics, fool you. It does look real beautiful because the game takes place at night. You have bright neon colors and everything. The city's just there. You fly around this huge city, sprawling stuff everywhere, plant life. You got people walking around, other vehicles flying around. It just looks cool. Like it looks like a real giant city, so it's really cool and really neat, and I'm having a blast with it. Definitely recommend you guys check out Cloudpunk. Great game. And the other one here that I've been playing, I finally resumed, is Necromancer Hired Gun, which this is in the Warhammer 40,000 universe. It says, become the ultimate hired gun. Navigate an ocean of crime and corruption in an indie, fast-paced, violent, and thrilling first-person shooter set in the darkest reaches of Warhammer 40,000's most infamous Hive City. And this game is just awesome. The music is great, heavy metal music. Once the action gets going, that music gets blaring and gets your blood pumping. Let me warn you guys now, though, this game is not easy. I've just been playing on normal difficulty, and it is difficult. So if you guys have played the Doom games, you know that Doom games are not easy as well. The enemies will swarm you and will flank you, and you got to use your wits and stuff to get out of it so you can get in really tight spot. One thing I do want to recommend to you guys, if you do run into a spot, is use your melee attack. For on Xbox, it's hit the X button. It's a one-hit kill on various enemies, and it actually works. You can run up to them and hit that X button and mob them. Sometimes you get mobbed by 3 or 4 guys, and you can just hit that X button, mash real quick, and you'll do these big violent takedowns. Like he'll grab somebody's head, and he'll take a knife and just cut their head off, or he'll stab a bunch of times, or it's just really cool. Sometimes he'll take a guy's gun from him, aim it up at his head and blow him away, or he'll take their weapon and beat him with it. Like, there's all kinds of different sweet takedown animations, because it's called a takedown. You can also do it in stealth. If you sneak up behind somebody, you can do that stealth with him. But it's just really cool seeing it in the battle. You just grab somebody's head, snap their neck, or cut their head off, or stab them a bunch of times with his big knife he has, or take their gun and shoot them. There's also dogs that you fight in this game, so you can have the dog come up and you shoot him with a pistol. There was one time a dog tried to bite me. You can see it like clawing at your face. He just lifts the head up, takes his gun, and just blows the fucking dog's head off. It's just awesome. It's just violent and brutal and just doesn't care, and it's just awesome, and I absolutely love it. It has great voice acting. You get to choose the different kind of characters look that you want, but obviously you're not looking at your character because it's first person shooter, but it is really cool that you can choose different kinds of characters. It has a really dark story. Now, I'm not really big into the Warhammer 40,000 universe. I know my buddy Dean just recently discovered, and he's been telling me about these games. Like, man, you gotta check them out. They look awesome. Like, this is a cool universe. It is really, really complicated. So anybody who played the tabletop game, would be... I had a buddy who was a big expert in this. I just kind of liked a couple of the games, and I just thought the Space Marines and stuff looked really cool, so I'm not really big or versed in the lore or anything like that, but this game is awesome. Now, this did get a lot of hate because there have been a lot of game-breaking bugs and glitches. I actually did run into one on Chapter 2, which they break up the campaign in different chapters, and I'm on Chapter 2, and I kept running into this same spot where the game crashed like 4 different times, so I just stayed away from that spot. So obviously there are some issues that need to be patched out again, because they have released a patch or 2 for this already to fix some of the issues, and there have been a lot of negative reviews on this. But I definitely recommend giving this a try. You might want to wait till it's a little bit cheaper. I bought this brand new for $39.99 as this recently came out physically for Xbox One. It's been out digitally for a while, but they finally released it they finally released it physically, and I got it from GameStop. I pre-ordered it, and it came with my pre-order DLC actually on the disc, where unfortunately the PS4 version was a code that they were supposed to give you on the receipt, and my buddy Dean, I know in his copy he didn't get it, so that kind of shitty. But it was included in the Xbox One version on the actual disc itself. That pre-order DLC's on there, so I am loving this game. Fast action RPG. Like, I mean, they run really quickly because your guy is actually augmented with enhancements and stuff, you know, like cybernetic arms and implant stuff. Basically, kind of like a cyberpunk type of person is what he is. And you can actually upgrade your character as you earn credits, where you can like slow down time, have better aiming with weapons. You actually can get some kind of powers, like you can throw out and like electric blast people or freeze them or burn them. So there's all kinds of different things you can unlock as you play through the story. So there's a main story to go through, which you can actually replay missions that you had played previously, as you are ranked in this game from like an S ranking all the way down to an F ranking. And there are secret chests and stuff to find, which has loot and stuff. Killing enemies, you can find loot and weapons and stuff, and new armor and things like that. And it's just an awesome game, and I'm really enjoying the story. The first level was pretty decent, but the second chapter I played was a really long level. I played almost an hour and a half on that, and I was exploring and doing everything. And then chapter 3 that I actually just got done beating here recently was a little bit smaller chapter. It was only like a half-hour chapter level. So I'm not sure how many chapters are in this game. I actually just started chapter 4 here, but I paused here so I could make this video, as it is getting pretty late. And I do need to get to bed because I do have to work this afternoon. But man, I'm loving this game, and I'm glad that I finally got back to playing it now, because I was playing it when I started that Observer System Redux, but I kind of put it down as I got really sucked into that game and wanted to beat that first, and then I wanted to go back into this one, but then I started Cloudpunk, and so I decided, you know, while I'm playing Cloudpunk, you know, I also want to play this game as well with it, and I'm loving it. Highly recommend you guys check out Necromancer Hired Gun. Don't listen to all the hate and negativity from it. A lot of people were hating on this months and months ago. Since it's been patched, I haven't had any real issues except for that one area in Chapter 2 that I ran into where it kept freezing and had to start it all over. I mean, it's saved, so I didn't have to worry about that, which this does have different things for save points, luckily, through the missions when you go. But other than that, you know, it's really cool. Like I said, you might not want to spend the $40 for it, so this might be one of those games you might wait till it's $30 or $20 on sale. You know, but definitely check it out at some point. It's a really fun first-person shooter, and I'm having a blast with it. And it is an awesome game. Really cool. You also have this cool Cyber Mastiff with you, and you have a little Squeak doll, which, because of my pre-order DLC, mine looks like a little guy, and I squeeze it, and the dog appears, and then he just sicks out and attacks enemies for you and takes them down, because he really comes in handy when you get into some crazy battles. There's boss battles and stuff. There's giant dudes you have to fight in mech armor and shit, and all kinds of crazy different ladies and guys and machines and stuff to fight, turrets and things like that. Your dude can wall run too, which is cool, and you can wall run and shoot guys at the same time. It's just a really fun game and exciting. Like I said, it's got that heavy metal music that plays. It just gets your blood, you know, going, and your adrenaline rush going for you to fight in these battles. It's just not easy because it is difficult, even on a normal difficulty, but you can upgrade yourself to make the game easier as you play through. I'm not sure how long the campaign is, but I'm definitely know I'm going to probably get at least 10 or 12 hours or more out of it, as I'm someone that likes to explore, and I'm sure I'll play through the campaign at least twice, maybe even 3 times, depending on how well I like it. But definitely check out Necromancer Hired Gun. It's an awesome first-person shooter set in the Warhammer 40,000 series. Now, as always, we do our quick little recap here. You know, I talked about Cloudpunk. This game is awesome. It's a cyberpunk game that has voxel graphics, which are like Lego Minecraft type of graphics. Has a great story, has side missions to do, has things to collect, a city to explore, really great characters, interesting story. Highly recommend you guys check it out. And then we also talked about Necromancer Hired Gun, an awesome first-person shooter set in the the Warhammer 40,000 universe. Really bloody, violent. It's just awesome. Reminds me of the old Doom and Quake games. It's not easy. It's definitely challenging, but if you practice and take your time, you know, and you can learn tricks and stuff like I have as you play through, you know, learn your enemies and their patterns and how they are, you know, you can adapt to it and you can beat this game. It's really fun and it is awesome, and I think you guys will love it. And both of these were recommended to me by my good buddy Dean. I wanted to say thank you so much, Dean. Let me know your guys' thoughts on these. Of course, I want to hear about the games you guys have been playing, and I also would love to hear any recommendations of the games you guys think I should check out, as I'm always looking for new games to play and experience. And again, one last time, I just want to thank you guys so much for making this series really fun for me to film every week. This is episode 100, and you guys have been awesome and very supportive, and I have just had an absolute blast with this series, and I just want to say thank you guys so much for that. Take care, have a great day, and we'll see you guys next time.